Hello and welcome back to Satisfactory Update 4. In our last episode, we set up these two assembly lines and got them sending their products into the space elevator. And between the last episode and this one, the game has been running for like 44 hours. Some stuff that I did, some stuff that I didn't, or that I just let it run. Sometimes... Let me say that again. Sometimes I was actually doing stuff, and I'm going to show you that in a moment. And sometimes I just let it run. And as you can see, we have about half of what we need of the first two items after 44 hours. But I expected that, and I just, like I said, I just let it run overnight or during the day while I was at work, those kinds of things. And we've gotten here. Alternatively, I could have spent that 44 hours building out everything, but then we wouldn't even be this far because of... I wouldn't have had that kind of time to do. So this kind of worked better because I could do this project while I was not doing anything in the game. So I'm not doing anything on my computer. So in addition to these things, I made two changes to this overall. The first one is to supercomputers, and I'll get down there in a minute, but I was noticing that the supercomputers were not always making it here in time. And as you can see, this requires 0.75 supercomputers. And strike that as a note for just a moment, but because I don't want to keep going back and forth. But the other thing is batteries. We're not producing enough batteries, and I think I mentioned, I can't remember if I did it in the last episode or if I did it off camera. I think I did it off camera. I expanded the battery production and actually went all over the whole base. And, well, not over the whole base, but went all over the place and boosted everything leading up to batteries. I definitely did off camera. But as you can see, we are getting in just barely a sufficient amount of batteries, I think, now, which is 5 per minute. And that's because we're finally producing 10 batteries per minute with the change to the settings here. So what happens basically is 5 of them come this way, 5 of them go that way. And we end up with... hopefully we have enough. Yeah, we have enough sulfuric acid coming in here. Hopefully we end up with enough of everything, and I think we do. And everything looks like it's working out well here at batteries finally. But we're constantly making batteries now, which is good, which we didn't have before. Partially due to incomplete updates. One of those updates was setting this to 10 per minute, which is what this is producing, rather than I think it was 7.5. So it was starving out the water going into making sulfuric acid, which meant that I was starving out the battery production itself. So that worked. And then this always stays low, and it should always stay low, because anytime this outputs, it outputs 15 water per minute. It's going to fill this pipe up a little bit. It's going to get pushed into here, and this valve will let it pass at any speed, at maximum speed if it wants to. So we're finally making enough batteries to satisfy enough for this construction, as well as to satisfy enough to keep the drones moving, I hope. Power is doing okay, I believe. Yeah, power's still doing okay, and that's good, because right now we're consuming 6,500 megawatts, and soon to be more once we go and work on the second pair of items for the space elevator after we get done with all of this. So we definitely needed more. We definitely need that nuclear power in order to do this space elevator stuff. So the other thing, back to the supercomputers, which are down here a ways. I messed up my calculator. So in my calculator, I had, is this super? Yeah. I had 1.5 supercomputers requiring 1.5 cooling systems. Well, it's actually 4.5, which means that I was making a third, or I was using 3 times as many as I thought I was, which means that I needed to also step up the cooling device production here. Which required a little bit of reconfiguration of this pipe. As you can see, I now have the pipe coming straight out into a junction cross, and then going that way, instead of going basically like straight across here. So I can put this other blender in here and run these. So now we're making 3.75 plus 3.75, that's 7.5, which I believe is the correct number. Let me grab my spreadsheet real quick. Cooling device, yeah, 2 full blenders, because of that 6.5 that we're making, 7.5 we're making, sorry, of that 7.5 we're making, 4.5 are going to the supercomputer itself, and then the remaining 3, I believe I'm using in something over there, and now I can't remember, but I believe that I'm using them in something over there now. So I did correct that price. I'm going to have released before this episode drops an updated version of the calculator that has that in it, as well as some other cosmetic changes that Caladorn suggested. Not all of Caladorn's suggested changes, because he hasn't given it to me yet, but some of the ones that he has given me. So some cosmetic changes to that. Yes, the thermal propulsion rockets that the second item that we're manufacturing uses 3 cooling systems per minute. So we definitely need all those that we're making right now in order to keep both items ticking away. Okay, so that's the changes that I made, and then I went all the way down the chain and updated everything leading up to these items, which is a large percentage of the items we're making. One caveat is this belt here of quick wire can only carry, can only carry 700 and, nope, what do I want? That's what I want. Jeez. Can only carry 780. Well, it turns out we now need 810 quick wire for the high-speed connectors. And where's quick wire? In my calculator. Yeah, we now need 810. So what I need to do, if I want to continue this base, I guess, I don't need to do it otherwise, but if I want to continue this base, I need to continue that extra line of quick wire down past the mall, which means redoing some of the connections for the mall, splitting it off into wherever else it splits off in. I guess I can just look at the calculator and see. Infused iodine filters, AI limiters, Deuterium computers, and quick wire stators. I split those off of the other belt, and then continue that other belt on down and merge it in somewhere, down partway down the line here. Merge it in so that it fills in the gaps in the belt going down, basically. Really, honestly, it could probably even be like right in this area here, like just like 3 machines in. Doesn't really need to be very far. So back to the items we need for this crazy project. So the next 2 items, I guess I should go over here to start with. The next 2 items we need are the thermal propulsion rockets. I'm sorry, that's the one we need to work on next. That requires those 3 cooling systems per minute, 6 per craft, and then we need to do nuclear pasta. So I have staged out those buildings. I think I had done that. Yeah, I had done this before the last episode, but I also ran some of the belts across. Let's see. Okay, Wally. Right buttons. I keep getting mixed up between the buttons for landing in Dyson Sphere versus the buttons in Satisfactory. So here we're making the thermal propulsion rockets. They require modular engines, which we'll get to next, turbo motors, cooling systems, and fused modular frames to produce 1 per minute. And then this is the modular engine. Requires motors, rubber, and smart plating, which we'll get to in a moment, to produce 1 per minute, 1 modular engine per minute. We actually need 2.5 modular engines per minute, so this actually isn't going to work unless I overclock it, which is what I'm planning on doing, but I need to have more shards. So I guess we should put those in. And then that means that we need to have 2.5, so we need to have 5 smart plating. And this will make 2 smart plating, so I can either overclock it, or I can add another thing here. And I think I'm just going to overclock it. And I just noticed that I need to do this overclocking, so that's a good thing. Modular engine. Should I do... Yeah, I think I'm just going to do the overclocking. So we need another 1, 2, 3, 4 shards. I'll go fly over and get those. And then I have some belts ready to hook up. But this is another example of how insane this this build is. You need this many things. 4. Nope. I need to get those out first. Nope. They're over here. Okay. And if I built a second machine, I could overclock both of them, each of them to 125, which would also work. There's not a real disadvantage other than space here. Is that a better option? I would have to push this part of this out further, which is fine. We have the space for it. It would reduce the power consumption, but we have a lot of power available. Somewhere around 5,000 to 6,000 megawatts. So I think we should just do this. If it becomes a problem, I can always knock them down and cut them in half. Okay, so let's hook up some belts. So I believe I ran these ones the whole way. I can't remember if I ran the other ones the whole way or not. No, I lied. I ran these ones the whole way, and these ones I don't have connected all the way yet. So cooling systems go into here, along with turbo motors and fused modular frames. And so those are going to go, oopsie, here, which is 1, 2, is right on the edge there. And then this is right there, so that's going to be 1, 2, right there. And this one here, 1, 2, is going to be right there. Alright, so let's see. First one to peel off is cooling systems. Just going to go, nope, not right there. Right where I have it. And I should have thought about this and done this one differently. There. And then this one goes there. This one goes there. And then lifts go up here. And finally here. And I need to connect up these little belts here. Should I connect it to the inside one there? Okay. And then we can continue down here. I'm not going to hook power up to that yet because it doesn't really matter yet anyway. Uh-oh. Speaking of power, I guess I do need to hook up some power. Ha! Okay, let's do power so that I have the ability to fly around. This goes right there. And then this one goes all the way down. Careful. Don't fall down a hole. Here. Okay. And then the last two items on that bus are reinforced iron plates and rotors. We don't need very many of those, which is good. Because we would have a problem otherwise. And let's see, these are at that, so 2, 1, 2 goes there. And then this is here, 1, 2 puts it right there. There you go. And one of these is on stack 1, and one of them is on stack 2. It doesn't really matter which. Convenient. It goes there. Hopefully they're gonna move. Yep, they're moving. Oop. Crap. That one goes there. And I missed. So wing and a miss. There. There we go. There. And go. Okay, so once this gets supplies, it should kick in. And it should update the numbers to 5 and 5. So we have plenty coming up the belts here. And then this is going to go into this manufacturer. And let's see, that goes there. Are you drunk, game? That was weird. Uh-huh. Okay, we'll go there. And this needs to go like this. And then like that. Alright, and this should be 5, 5, 5. Okay, good. And then this is going to need the rubbers and... Rubber and the motors. And rubber is going to be actually a significant amount. 37.5, I think, if my math is right. So I have 2 belts here. And I think I just didn't connect them up down on this far end. Yeah, I wanted to kind of get them strung along. And then I didn't come back down here and do this. So we'll start this up here. That's rubber, and that's motors. And let them come along down here. And we need 2 inputs here, so we'll do... I'm out of iron rods. Okay, so we'll get some more of those. Stackers use a lot of iron rods. I think those are right here. Yes, they are. A couple hundred, or about 400 should be fine. Okay, so that's here. 1, 2, puts it one back from center. And then this one here puts it 1 off from there. And then these are on 2, come on, 3, 4, 5, and 2, 3, 4. Items are still creeping along there. That's I suppose, disadvantage into using the Mark 1 belts for everything, but on the other hand, we don't really need anything more once they get seated. That goes there, and those will be those 3 items. And we need... Oh, this is going to crank up. So this is going to require 5, and 5, and I think it'll be 37.5. Yeah. And then finally, we need to connect up this end. You come out here. You come out here. There we go. Rubber is here. And that belt is fine for the rubber. And then it just jumped up now to needing 5, 37.5, and 5, and producing 2.5 per minute. And then this is going to need the 2.5 per minute, and it has everything else it needs. So that will produce... How's power look? It's going up. That will produce the 1... whatever it's called. The 1 modular... Or no, thruster engine? What is it? What was it called? I don't remember. Let's put this up. I want to put this up before I get too far along. I think to there. Yes, because it needs to be 1 higher than that one. Thermal Propulsion Rocket. Okay, and then this goes here. And stack 3, I think. Yes. Stack 3. Come on. There you go. Actually, let's go ahead and put these up here too, because we're going to need them anyway. And on you as well. And then this will be a... 2. This is only going to be temporary because it doesn't really fit here. We'll take this down and into there. That out. And we should start seeing these coming along the line here any moment. Or maybe not, because it's 1 per minute and it makes 2, so it's 2-minute craft time. Oh, and we need more modular engines, too, because those take a little bit to get seated up. Okay, so it's just now going to start crafting. There it goes. 5. Oh, 2.5. Just 1 per craft. Okay, that makes sense. So that's just now starting. It's going to send those in. So now we can take a look at this, which is the final item, the nuclear pasta. We need 200 copper powder at 100 per minute, and we need 1 pressure conversion cube at 1/2 per minute. So the pressure conversion cube, I'm going to make here. Nope, it was near the top, I think. Yep, pressure conversion cube. That's going to take the fused modular frames and the radio units, which is the exact same things that we were making into the pressure conversion cubes to send over to the nuclear base. We're going to bust those items down here too, because the fused modular frames we're making a total of 3 per minute. We're using 1 to make a pressure conversion cube for turbo pressure motors. We're using 1, I believe, to send to the nuclear base, and then we'll have 1 to send here per minute. And then the radio control units. Actually, I should check that plutonium thing. Pressure conversion cubes. We're actually using a 1/2 of 1. We're probably using 1 because I overclocked everything. Actually, I don't know that I overclocked here, but it doesn't matter. And so then we have also the radio control units, which are we are making 11.25. 4.5 are going to the OC supercomputer. 2 are going to the pressure conversion cube for the pressure motor. So then 2 are going to the up to 2 are going to the pressure conversion cube for nuclear, and that still leaves us with 2.75 left to send down here. So we have plenty here. So we're going to bring those in, and then we also need to make the copper powder, which requires 300 copper ingots to make per minute to make 50 copper powder per minute. We actually need double that. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just put 2 of these down because these are small enough, cheap enough, easy enough to just put 2 down. And that puts me right up against it. Let's see, 1 cube, making sure that everything is. We only need 1/2 a cube per minute. Oh, maybe I want to double this. Do I want to double this? I think I want to double this. I think I want more things hooked up. 1 of these, that's fine. So actually I need 4 of these, or I could double them. I think I'll double them. It's gonna be a lot of copper, though. I wonder if I can get that much copper still. Because that's gonna be, if I want 200 copper powder per minute, that's gonna be 1,200 copper ingots per minute. That's a lot of copper. But we'll figure it out. So let's first off, well, actually, let's take a look at a map, maybe. We could take a look at a map. Let's see where the copper is, and where we are, and what copper we might have left. Let me pull up the map here for you all. Here it is. So here's where our base is. We're already tapping these 2 copper nodes. We could crank them up to miner Mark III and even overclock them, which I think we're going to have to do because we need to have 1,200 ingots, which means 1,200 ore if we use the basic copper recipe, which I think we probably just need to do. Because otherwise we'd have to use the iron, although we could do that. We could use the alloy recipe instead. Where you guys cannot see it, I'm going to put down a foundry just to take a look at that recipe. And then we can talk about it. So copper alloy, if we wanted to make 1,200 ingots per minute, we would need 12 foundries. And that means we would need 600 copper ore per minute and 300 iron ore per minute. Well, that's a little bit more feasible, other than the whole 12 foundry thing. But I think we need to do it. So, and I just ran out of power. Inexplicably, because I wasn't moving. But okay. Thank you, game. And I just moved like an inch, and then I got it back. Okay. Back to the map. Let's see. So we could easily get the, whatever it was. I forgot how much it was now. 600, I think it was, copper. I'm moving the foundry nearer to power so that I can stay afloat here. If we wanted 1,200 ingots, we would need to have 600 copper ore. So that's, I think, feasible. Yes, I'm moving around, but I'm not really looking at anything of concern. I was just looking at the recipe again. And I think we could just tap this copper at Miner Mark III, overclocked to 250. Which is going to be expensive power-wise. Then we only need 300 of this, so we could do Miner Mark III downclocked a little bit. So we need this stuff for 2 Miner Mark IIIs and then a bunch of foundries. So let's put away the browser here, and let's go look at setting that up. 12 small frames, 120 small frames, 120 rotors, 240 concrete. I'm pretty sure I have the concrete. Let's see. Yeah, we need to have 12 of these. And then, oh, I guess I should also put in there Miner Mark III. I surprisingly have everything I need except for the modular frames and rotors. Okay. Let's go to the mall. And the portable miners, but those are just iron plates and iron rods, and I have, I assume, plenty of those. The other thing we're going to need a lot of, though, is the all-clad in order to bring 2 belts of ingots in this far. Let's see. Frames. 2 stacks of those. Rotors. 1 stack of those. And then the all-clad is sitting over here. Oh, I think I have it in a box. Don't I have it in a box? I do. I just don't have the box hooked up to anything anymore. Let's do like 6 stacks of those plus whatever I had, which was like 2 stacks. So I think that'll be good. And let's go down and hook up some mining and some foundering. Foundrying? Smelting. There we go. Smelting in a foundry. Even better. Actually, you know what? I think we will save that task for the next episode. There won't be much time between these 2 episodes. In fact, they will probably be back-to-back, on back-to-back days. But I actually have a, if you're watching this episode in the chat, I have a hard out right now, so I need to actually leave. If you're watching this after the fact, I only had about 30 minutes to do the premiere chat. So I think what we'll do is we'll just set up the miners on these two nodes in the next episode. Put some foundries out here, maybe just even extend this out that way, and put the foundries in here, and then we can smelt the ore and send it up along, maybe up along this bus. We have some stuff already going along there, and down where we need it to make it into the copper powder. So thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.